You got this sucker lined up, right? All right, I just finished morning exercises. I'm actually not that sweaty because I had a fan on me all morning, which is great. Not all morning. Anyway, so I kind of had a headache the last couple days. I mentioned in the live I did on Sunday that I was, having a bit of weirdness. And I feel like I need to talk about it because there's an important lesson in there because I was thinking about it and I came to a conclusion. Now it's going to take me a minute to get there, but here goes. So right now there are a lot of people. Actually, it's not even that many people, but like a few people can feel like a lot of people when they're being super irritating. So there are a few people who need me to apologize. You sir, you need to apologize for things I didn't do. Now, there are tons of people online. There are all these people online who want me to apologize for everything I've ever said all the time. Blah, blah. One or two people in real life too. And like, there's a friendship I have that's kind of hanging in the balance. Do I swallow my pride and apologize? Or do I say, hey, get out of this? Or do I say, F you, man? Okay, so I don't want to get into the specifics of any of this right now because, it involves real people and it's their business and stuff. But I can give an example of exactly this thing that happened a few years ago. And I don't know this person anymore, but this is like a perfect example of what is going on right now. So there was this dude, I only knew him online, and he was talking about moving here. He was asking me about buying land and what to do and immigration. So, we were having conversations about this and how to live off grid and how to work the solar stuff. And we were having regular conversations, right? So one day he starts a conversation. He sends me a message in some messenger. It says, hey, I was thinking. So I'm like, open the thing. It says, hey, I was thinking. And I'm like, oh, the obvious response to that is, what were you thinking? But I'm like, that's kind of boring and obvious. Let me have a little bit of fun. So I write, oh, come on, don't pretend you don't know how to think. Ha, ha, ha. And in parentheses, I write joking. And then I write, what's up? And then we have a conversation about, I don't know what it was that day, just boats or solar panels or something, whatever. We talk for a bit and then carry on with our lives. The next day, I'm talking to him again, and he's getting kind of testy. He's getting kind of insulting. And at first, I'm just ignoring it because I don't, whatever. But the insults keep getting more and more blatant. And, it gets to the point where he's like, I need you to acknowledge that I am insulting you. So he just starts calling me an asshole. So I'm finally like, all right, why are you upset? Have I done something? And his response is, you know what you did. This is always the one of the most irritating parts of this conversation. When this part goes on for too long, oh my God, it's like, you know what you did, you know what you did. And I'm just like, it's like a 10-minute ordeal of like just pulling teeth to try to get this guy to tell me what I've done. So finally, he tells me, you said I don't think. And I'm just like, okay, let me scroll up the conversation. Okay, Control F, find, think. Oh, right. Yesterday, he sent me the message that said, I was thinking, and I wrote back, oh, come on, don't pretend you don't know how to think. Ha, 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 joking, right? So I scroll back down to the message, and I'm like, are you talking about when I said you don't think, ha, ha, joking? He's like, yeah, you know exactly what you did. Don't pretend you don't know. You just typed it out. You know exactly. And I'm like, well, I know what it is because you just told me. But did you see the part where it says, ha ha, joking? And he's like, don't pretend, don't backpedal, don't pretend. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. And I'm like, wait. No, it says joking. That literally means that whatever I said that was in the joke was not serious. It may have been a stupid joke. It wasn't even that funny or anything. But I'm literally just goofing around, right? Like I'm just being silly. And I even wrote joking right there, just in case there was any confusion, because we're talking in text, right? No, he is dead set that I meant he is stupid, and I'm calling him an idiot, and he's he's angry and I'm an asshole. And, I try to stick with the conversation for like 10 or 15 minutes. But at some point, I just had to block him and just be like, I guess that's it. Now, when you're in that situation, there's kind of two different ways you can deal with it. Now, in that situation, it wasn't someone I knew in real life, so it's just like, whatever. But when you know someone in real life, I guess, technically there are three things. You could just do nothing, but the problem doesn't go away, obviously. Things just fester and get worse. So if you want to do something, you kind of have only two choices. Like once you get to the point where you try to explain your point of view and they disregard it absolutely 100% and say, nope, I'm not listening to anything you said. I know what you meant. And nothing you can tell me can change it. So like once they decide that they know what you're saying, even though you're telling them something different, at that point, you only have two choices, basically. It's either like, I'm sorry, I accept that I have done what you're saying I've done, and I apologize. Can we be friends again now? Can we get past it, right? So that's one option. The other option is quit acting like a bitch. Just shut the fuck up. Just fucking shut the fuck up. Now, it doesn't have to be literally that many fucks, but that's how it's going to come across. It's basically like you're acting like a bitch. Shut up. Stop it, There's not really any in between at that point because you've already tried to explain and they are totally not listening, right? So, I have this situation right now, and I have a friendship that's hanging in the balance, a friendship I care about. So I was thinking about it, which is why I had a headache all day yesterday. Hardly got anything done. I played a lot of video games yesterday because, Anyway, so I thought back to a situation that I had many years ago. I had this girlfriend, and I liked this girlfriend. We got along really well in a lot of ways. She was a little bit crazy too. But we got along really well in a lot of ways. And one day she had a job she had to do, and she has this dog, this pug. And this pug was not treated well at the beginning of its life, so it's very skittish. And it is attached to her. Like it is always with her. If it's not in the same room as her, it is kind of like, oh, where's my mama? Where's my mama? So like there's her, and its previous owner was also a good owner. This is a friend of hers. This is like the only two people this dog is comfortable around. And the dog has accepted that I can be in her house. And that was like a huge step, So anyway, she has this job she has to do. She can't take get out of here, mosquito. She can't take the dog with her. So I'm with her at the time, and she's like, well, you could keep the dog. And I'm just like, this dog, like most dogs, I'd be fine with. Like I know how to play with dogs. Give me a tennis ball and I'll throw it. But like I know how to play with a dog, right? I can hang out with the dog for a day, no problem. But this dog is like terrified of everything, including me and all people. I guess because I had this bad experience when I was younger, and I totally understand. And I'm like, I don't think I'm the right person to take this dog for the day. I think you should give the dog to your friend, the previous owner, because that's who the dog's going to be comfortable with. And she's like, yeah, you're right. So the last minute, I get this dog. And she's just like, oh, just take care of the dog, because this is just more convenient. And I'm just like, oh. All right. And I have all these responsibilities and things I'm supposed to be doing that day, which are all gone at this point, because I'm not going to be able to take care of that stuff. I can kind of half take care of that stuff and the dog at the same time. And I'm just like, and at this point, there's no other option. Like the dog is stuck with me for the day, because it was last minute. It was too late to be like, no, take to your other friend. No, it's too late. So I've got the dog. The minute she leaves, the dog is going just bonkers. Like, have you ever seen it? Like this dog looked like it was on cocaine or something. It was like scratching at the door. It looked like it was gonna dig a hole right through the front door of the place where we were. And I'm like doing everything I can to try to calm this dog down. But this dog does not want to play with me. I go near the dog's like, like this dog is going absolutely apeshit. So, and I've got this dog for like 10 hours, right? So the only thing I could do to get the dog to calm down was take the dog for a walk. And my brain thinks that the dog was thinking that maybe we're going for a walk back to his mom, and maybe that's why he's calming down. But whatever, if we are walking, this dog will calm down, right? So I end up taking this dog on like an 8-hour walk just around the yard. And every lap, I'm like trying to get the dog, maybe not every lap, but every once in a while, I'm trying to get the dog to drink some water, eat some snacks. I'm carrying snacks in my pocket. Every once in a while, I'll like put a few snacks in a little trail. Dog does not want water or food. Doesn't, like the whole day, I cannot get this dog to eat anything. And I'm thinking this dog is going to get tired of like walking around in these laps, right? I mean, I'm getting tired of doing this, and I'm thinking the dog's gonna at some point want to rest. Nope, this dog is freaking out the entire day. It's the second we stop walking, the dog is just going crazy. So finally, it's getting to the point where this girl is getting toward the end of her day of work, right? And I'm like, okay, she's probably like getting close to done. We can go a little early. So I take the dog and I have to, this was the worst part. I had to put the dog in her car and then go inside and see if she's available that I can get the dog back to her. So I come and she's like, "You left the dog in the car?" And I'm just like, oh, God. So I go back out and she says, "Bring me the dog now." So I go get the dog, bring the dog in. And she's like, "This dog is dehydrated. What is going on? What have you done to this dog?" And I'm trying to explain, the moment you left, the dog was going crazy because this dog does not like anyone except you and your friend, right? So the dog was going, I could not get the dog to drink, and "You left the dog in the car." And I'm just like, oh God. Anyway, so after this, for the next few weeks, everything was about this dog. Like every conversation started and ended with, "Jaimie, you did it wrong. You're a bad person. You killed my dog." The dog's still alive, but you're like shortening its lifespan. This dog was dehydrated. You just abused this dog and la la la. And I'm just like, God, what the? I mean, I went through hell trying to take care of this dog that was going crazy, and she left the dog with someone knowing that the dog only could be around 2 people without freaking out. But I'm like, all right, let me just swallow my pride and just accept it. Like, I'll just take it, right? Whatever. So I apologized one day. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry. I did the wrong thing with the dog. It's my fault. I'm sorry." Hoping that maybe we can then get past it, right? Nope. Wrong choice, Jaimie. Because after that, everything was still about the dog, but it was about the dog and the important lesson I learned. Because I needed to apologize, and I've learned that I've done a wrong thing, and la 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 la, just on and on and on. I had to end up just like not talking to this girl anymore. And I think actually the last thing I said to her was, "Enough about the fucking dog." Oh man. Although like 3 years after that, she sent me this random email out of nowhere saying, "We should have had children together." It was like, "We should have 2 children by now." And I'm just like, what the hell, bitch? Excuse my French. I did say I would be swearing on this one, so it's okay. I'm like, the whole time we were together, you said you didn't want kids. Anyway, she was a little crazy. So the point of that whole story is the apology for something that I didn't do wrong did not help. And I'm not saying I didn't do anything wrong. Maybe there's something I could have done better to help this dog. But I was put in a pretty difficult position by her, and I did everything that was available to me that I could figure out to try to make things better for this dog, right? But then I ended up apologizing for not trying hard enough, not doing a good job, blah, blah, blah. Just taking all the blame myself, when the blame was definitely not all mine. And it did not help at all, did not improve situations at all. So, given the choice, and this is something that comes up quite, not all the time, but quite frequently, where people want me to apologize. And I see people doing this to other people. It's not just me. This happens a lot, where people want people to apologize. You didn't respect my feelings correctly because you told the truth, or you were doing something that had nothing to do with me, but it made me upset. So you need to apologize. Well, after thinking about it, my conclusion is that there will be no apologies, people. I am not apologizing for anything I didn't do wrong. So stop acting like babies. Stop acting like babies. You know what would have happened when I was a kid? Now, this was a different time, of course. This is going to be horribly sexist and like super insulting to people today. But when I was a kid, boys and girls were different. You know, today we're all the same. But when I was a kid, boys were good at throwing and good at running and good at spinning, and girls were good at like cooking and gossiping and sewing. And obviously there was overlap. Like I knew girls who played baseball who could throw, and I liked to sew and cook. So I mean, there was definitely overlap, right? But generally speaking, it was like boys generally did this, girls generally did this. And if a boy started getting upset that someone needed to apologize to him, like someone said something and he remembered it for the next week and just kept thinking about it, Jimmy said this, we would say to him, stop acting like a girl. And then he would be like, I'm not a girl, no, I wasn't doing that. And then it would be fixed. That was terribly sexist and horrible, and you can't do that today. But that's what it was like when I was a kid, right? And then something weird happened. And I'm not totally opposed to this. We started having this thing where we wanted equality. And equality is a funny word. There's a lot of ways to interpret what that means. But what I'm saying is like we wanted girls to be more like boys and boys to be more like girls. So you can't really say that kind of stuff anymore. You can't say stop acting like a woman, because that's horribly sexist and we're all the same now. But I think we made a mistake when we started becoming more similar. And like I said, I'm totally not opposed to men and women gaining the same skills as they grow up. I think that's great. I think that's super cool. Like once I had a girlfriend who played softball at a pretty high level, and we could go to the park and play catch, and it was amazing. Oh, I loved it. It was like, yo, we can go do this inside, and then we can go outside and we can play catch. This is great. Until one day I hit her in the face with the baseball. The funny thing though is like, she's telling me, just throw as hard as you want. I can catch. I play for real. So I kept throwing harder and harder. Not super hard, but one time I think she was just distracted and the ball bounced off her glove and hit her in the face. And instead of being like, ow, she was like, oh, no. Don't think I'm a girl now. Don't think I'm a girl. Don't treat me like a girl. You have to still play. That was just an accident, just a minor thing. Anyway, I think it's great when guys and girls learn each other's, skills. But what happened is that instead of boys learning how to cook and learning how to sew, and girls learning how to throw and how to run or whatever, spit and whatever, instead of us learning each other's skills, instead what we did to become more equal is like everyone learned no skills. So like today, boys and girls both know how to touch screens really, really well. Oh man, they're so good at touching touch screens. But most boys and girls don't know how to throw or run or or cook or sew or anything. So we became equal by each losing their skills instead of gaining the skills of the other. We could have totally done that the other way, man, and just learned the skills of the other person, and then everyone would just have more skills. That would be way better. Anyway, that's all beside the original point. Point is, well, I guess it wasn't totally beside the original point, because the original point was about this gossipy thinking negative things about someone behind their back, which used to be kind of the domain of like high school girls. And just that's what was socially accepted at the time. High school girls gossip. Boys don't gossip. But now boys have learned to also have that bad behavior. Instead of becoming equal and no one gossiping, now everyone gossips. Boys and girls gossip. So anyway, yeah, I'm not apologizing to anyone for crap I didn't do. So if anyone's watching this who thinks I need to apologize to them, tell me what I did wrong, and then listen to me. And if I have an explanation, you got to listen to it. And if you don't want to listen to my explanation, then just F you. I don't know what there's no other option. And if I actually did something wrong, I will totally own up to it. But if I didn't do something wrong, I'm not apologizing for it. So, and you know what? Everyone out there, you shouldn't apologize for things you didn't do either. That's something I see a lot. People are always going around apologizing for stuff they didn't really do. And it's always to like avoid some conflict or whatever, but screw that, man. Screw that. No, if you didn't do something, don't apologize for it. All right. Yeah, that's it. Here, let me see what's going on. There's some comments here. Let me read some of these. Oh, I got burps. Hey, Mr. Landfill, what's up? Oh, it's automatic. How's it going? Thumbs up. Yes, Mr. Landfill. Hello. Lots of hellos. Oh, here we go. Some automatic says, I got a question. I've been wanting to ask Jaimie, why polyester instead of epoxy? I'm guessing because of cost. Bing, bing, bing. You got it, man. Yeah, epoxy costs like 10 times as much as polyester resin. It's better. It doesn't smell as bad. Although I hear that it can give you like you can develop this epoxy sensitivity, like kind of get allergic to it, and it really can irritate your skin. But yeah, the polyester resin is just horrible to work with because it's like corrosive. If you get it on your skin, it burns. And I don't mean like it lights you on fire, but like you get it on your skin, you'll be like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh. And you can't just wipe it off. I mean, you can like really scrub it with like a piece of cardboard to get it off or something, but it's not like water soluble. Like it's not easy to get off. You got to use like paint thinner and stuff. And it's sticky and messy. But yeah, and it also doesn't last as long and whatever. Anyway, oldest joke on the planet, Mr. Landfill says. What was the oldest joke on the planet? I don't remember what I was saying at the beginning. I'm always behind on comments because people put some comments about what I was saying at the beginning, and then I don't know what they're talking about till I catch up. Hey, Jaimie, sounds like he has mental health issues. I mean, you even said you were joking, so you obviously didn't mean it. Did you block him? I did block that guy. Yeah. Yeah, because he would not stop. The guy who was upset at me calling me an asshole for making a joke. But yeah, mental health issues, man, that is rampant today. Because like even like 20 years ago, this didn't happen anywhere near as often as it happens now. Now it's like, I mean, you can't turn around without insulting and offending someone, and they need an apology because you turned around wrong. And like, you can even go online and there are all these videos of girls at the gym, like showing them, and then they're like point out someone behind them who like glanced at them and like, oh, look at this pervert. It's like, what? Like people are so like ready to just be upset and offended, and it's just it's so like like I want the old school men, you know, the old school men who could you could run over their foot with your car and they'd be like, they just got my foot there, watch it. You know, and then the other man would be like, oh yeah, sorry man, I'll make sure I get around better. Or, you know, it's like, But now it's like you blink, and what does that blink mean? What does that blink mean? Oh, and you said something yesterday, and you said something the other day, and then you turned around, and I know you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're being upset, and it's just all this fucking bullshit about like, my feelings. What the fuck? Can we get like some men from the 60s? That's the dudes I need to hang out with. Like men from the 60s. Like, I can't be around all these people who are so sensitive. It's like you can't walk on eggshells all the time. Like, it's ridiculous. At some point, it's going to swing back the other way and people will get tough again. But at the moment, it's ridiculous. Shadowmancer says, LOL, yep. It has been proven to me on many, many occasions that people don't read the entire message. Also, they only remember what they think rather than what actually happens. Yes. And I actually responded to one of my friend here recently, basically saying, if you look at me and you are looking for evil, you're going to find it. You're going to find something that I've done wrong. But if you look at me and you're looking for a good person, you're going to find that too. And yeah, like you can take a person and you can vilify them, or you can see them as a good person. And neither one of those actually makes that person what you're deciding they are. But you can decide that in your own brain. And I'll tell you honestly, from my perspective, I try to do a good job. I try to be a good person. A lot of times, it's funny, like 30 years ago, if someone like fell off their bike and they're like sitting on the ground, like super embarrassed, like, you could just make a joke about it and be like, way to go, retard, and then everyone would laugh and it would diffuse the embarrassment, right? But the person would still be a little embarrassed, but they'd kind of laugh along and it'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I fell off, I'm a retard, and then you could carry on, right? And making a joke would lighten the situation. Today, though, if you say that, oh, way to go, retard. You can't say retard, and you call me that. And now it's 10 times worse because I've fallen off my bike and you're just attacking me. Oh, my God. It's like, okay, you fell off your bike. You just sit there and be embarrassed and have no one say anything about the obvious thing. And then everyone's just going to be thinking about it. That's better? That is not better. That is definitely worse. Like, we got to get over this whole thing about, I got to be upset about everything all the time. No, man. You know what jokes are for? Jokes are for diffusing tense situations like that. Like, you make a joke about something, like if say you got 10 people in a room and everyone's upset about something that no one wants to talk about, no one wants to mention, everyone just gets more and more tense. No one will talk about it until someone comes along and just says, hey, there's a giant pile of shit in the middle of the floor there. And then everyone can relax and be like, yeah, there is a giant pile of shit in the middle of the floor. Now we can relax and acknowledge it and be like, I decide either we're going to do something about it or we're just not. But if no one will say anything about it and everyone's obviously knows it's there, but they're just like purposely just trying to ignore it, it just becomes a huge thing. This happens all the time. Like people get these ideas in their head and they won't just share it. And I blame the quarantine partly on this because people got used to just like closing in and not communicating. But this is a huge part of communicating. You gotta be able to communicate with people. And it's super irritating when you can't communicate with people because you try to communicate with them, but they're just like, no, I'm not listening. No, I know what you meant. I know what you said. No, I'm not listening. And it's like, hey, can we just have some fucking communication, please? Like, can we talk and can we laugh about some shit that might be stressful and offensive, but if we can joke about it, it doesn't mean it's gone, but it means we can then deal with it more easily because we can relax and be like, wow, we're in a really shitty situation right now, aren't we? Whoa. This is one of the things I learned when I was younger, working some really hard jobs. One time I had this landscaping job and a lot of it was just like one day there was this mountain of rocks, and I just had to move them into the backyard, and just all day. And the guy who owned the landscaping company, he was back there doing stuff with them. And we were just like sweating like pigs, and it was Canadian summer. And you know, the Canadian summer, the days are real long. Sometimes it gets real hot. It was like 115 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. It was like 40 degrees Celsius or something. I don't know. It was hot. And we're just sweating like pigs and feeling like death. But we got it. If we don't do the job, we're not getting paid. So I'm just going back and forth with these rocks, just sweating like a freaking pig. And he's back there. His hands are like so wet from sweat. He's like slipping, like dropping the rocks and stuff that he's trying to put in place. But the way we got through it is we're just like, wow, can you believe this shit? And we laugh about it, and then it like makes it not as bad, you know? And like, that doesn't happen anymore. Now people are just like, my feelings are the most important thing, and I need to focus on my angry feelings and make them bigger and make them more relevant instead of laughing them off and diffusing them so we can actually like kind of get past it and just not fester in our own darkness and filth, you know? We're totally doing it wrong today, man. We gotta get over this whole just being upset about everything. It just and for a while, I gotta admit, I've been a little bit what's the word, at fault for letting too much of this shit go. You know, people get upset at me, and they're like for the dumbest shit, for nothing, right? And I haven't been doing what I should be doing. And what I should be doing is saying, oh, shut the fuck up. And then like, it's just like, that's stupid. Let's do something else other than just like bitch and moan about ridiculous stuff. Because I want to respect their feelings, right? No, I'm not respecting your dumb feelings anymore. No more respecting the dumb feelings. Your feelings do not mean something is true. Like, just because you are upset does not mean that everything that you think and say is now true. The truth does not give a shit about your feelings. Reality does not care what you think. Reality is going to be what it is, regardless of how you feel about it. Sorry, man. You know. So I'm sticking to that position from now on. I'm not eggshell walking anymore. It's stupid, man. Oh, let's see. Where was I after I just went off this big tangent? Shadowmancer, yeah, that is true. But Jaimie even said about the part where he put in brackets joking. So after that should have been sorted out, but the other guy just kept going on and on. Exactly, man. He wouldn't even listen to the explanation. It's like, no communication. Bitch was just in reference to the dog. Yes. When I said bitch, I was just referring to the dog, of course. Yes. Wow, that woman is very high maintenance. You had a very lucky escape. She actually, so this is the girlfriend with the dog. She actually wasn't high maintenance in a lot of ways. But man, like, you know when you meet someone and you can kind of meet all their best parts at the beginning, and then you run into some piece of their personality that wasn't really there. It wasn't relevant, so it hadn't come out. But then it comes out and it's like, blam! Now I'm gonna overshadow everything else. That's what it was like. And I was just like, oh wow, yep, okay. Insane person. Yeah. Not high maintenance in a lot of different ways, but emotionally, super high, more than high maintenance. It wasn't even maintenance. It was like, what's like, she needed like serious repairs that were not ever going to happen. I mean, you can't repair someone else. They have to repair themselves. Dave says, if someone wants you to apologize, they are upset. It may not be about anything to do with what happened, but they are upset. Once you address the actual thing that is upsetting them, all is good. Exactly. So like at times in the past, I've been like, you know, what are you actually upset about? Because you can't be upset about this, I've found this to be less and less effective as time goes on. You know, like 20 years ago, if someone was just upset about something idiotic, you could say to them, I think you're actually upset about something else. Like, what's actually bothering you? And often you could actually kind of get through and talk about what actually it was. But today it's like a lot of people are they're so dead set on holding on to their anger and frustration. You say, what are you actually upset about? They're like, oh, you don't even believe me? Oh, I'm not upset about anything else. You did something wrong. It's like, what? Calm down, man. Oh, it can't keep getting worse though. At some point, it's got to break, right? And people have to stop. Shadowmancer says, "LOL, stop acting like a girl." Yeah, do you remember when that was something you could actually say? This video is probably going to get erased because you can't say stop acting like a girl anymore. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying anyone should stop acting like a girl. I'm just saying historical perspective. That is what people used to say. Huh? Cooties. Yeah, cooties. Yeah, man. There used to be Clump is saying powerful incentives. Yeah, we used to have all these incentives to prevent bad behaviors. Like if you touch the wrong thing, oh, you got the cooties, and people wouldn't touch it. They'd be like, oh yeah, I don't want to get the cooties. If a guy did something stupid, you could say, stop being a girl, and they'd be like, oh, I don't want to be a girl. Or if a girl did something, you could say, stop being such a dude, and they'd be like, oh, yeah. But now it's like you can't say any of that. And maybe that's one of the problems. There's like anything that you used to be able to say to kind of like incentivize people to do something or not to do something, all that's gone. You can't say anything anymore. Everyone is always right. They can always do whatever they want. It's totally insane. Scientific fact, girls have cooties. Oh yeah, but dealing with upsetting things is hard to do and face up to, so people find trivial matters that allow them to skirt the actual upsetting manner. You are totally right, Dave. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't bring that up at all. Like that's, and so like when you actually apologize for the thing that you didn't even do, that didn't even deserve an apology, often it makes things worse because of exactly what you said. Because the person isn't actually upset about that. But once you make your apology, now you're acknowledging that person's bad feelings toward what you did are relevant, and that is actually what it is. And it totally distracts them even more from what the actual problem was. I'm totally glad you brought that up. You're totally right, man. What really happened? Christian Cartney. How are you? I got my starter to crank. Woohoo, big success today. Awesome, man. Good work. What is that vest? This is a chainmail. I was doing morning exercises, and I often, it depends on the day, but I often wear this. It's like 30 or 40 pounds. I don't know. I haven't weighed it in a while. I don't remember how much it weighs. But, and then I'll, hold some weights in my hands just to, get some exercise. And actually, often when I do morning exercises with this on, I'll keep it on like most of the day. So I'll go out and dig and start doing stuff and just wear this. And it, when you give yourself some extra resistance every now and then, it makes the rest of the time feel amazing. Because when I take it off, I'm like, oh, like what I often do is I'll start digging. Like if I'm going to dig some dirt for like 2 hours, I'll do the first hour of dirt digging with this on and get used to that. And then I'll take it off. And then it's like, oh, this is so much easier. And I can just like dig like a maniac, right? Yeah, it's just about taking, you get it. Never apologized. Good job, Levy. Although sometimes you should apologize. Like if you legitimately did something that was wrong and stupid, like apologize for what you did. Just don't apologize for the thing you didn't do. So like with my friend, I've had I think a large part of the problem I've had with my friend recently is it's a guy who speaks Spanish first and English second, and my Spanish isn't that good. So there is some communication difficulty. So I tried to say that, I think a lot of this is just communication, because like we don't speak the same first language. So there's going to be some gaps and stuff we have to fill in. So I'm sorry for not expressing what I'm trying to say carefully enough for you to be able to understand it. That's what I've done wrong. I've not actually, it's like the thing where the guy said I was calling him stupid. I'm like, no, I wasn't actually calling you stupid. I was just making a joke. It said joking, like literally means that whatever I said is not what it's not meant. Like a joke means it's not really meant, Jaimie, you do realize you are woke, right? Oh, fuck off. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so woke. I don't know what the hell that means. You are woke. I'm pretty sure I'm not woke. I don't know if that's a joke or what, or I don't know what the hell. Like, no one cares about this stuff as much as you. You know what? Fuck off. Go fuck yourself. That's the answer to that. And actually, maybe people should care about this stuff more, because we've got this society where people are so upset all the time. And why are you even saying that? No one cares about this stuff as much as you. Why are you even here? Why are you watching this? If you know anything about me, I'm gonna talk about things like this, and I'm gonna, try to say things that might convince one or two people here and there in the world to maybe reconsider being upset all the time. But this is a major problem. This is a huge problem in our society. And it would be nice if more people cared about this stuff. And I'm definitely not the only one who cares about this. More and more people are caring about this. Definitely. Nothing wrong with when you apologize when it's warranted. When it's not, it loses its value. If it will never be accepted, you're wasting your time. Find who values you. Yeah. That's one of the things. It's like trying to save a friendship that's not going to work. It's just a waste of time. Totally a waste of time. The chainmail looks so good. Oh, thanks, man. This is actually super tight weave. You call it weave? I don't know what you call it. But I wanted to make something heavy so I could, wear it for exercise and stuff. And it's so comfortable. I can go running in this, and it's completely fine. Before this, I had a weight vest with these steel rods in it, and they would jab into my ribs kind of, and it wasn't that good. But this is it's so comfortable. I can do all the normal stuff, and it's flexible and everything. It's really good. And the weave is so tight, you can't even fit a toothpick through it. You could stab me with a toothpick. It would not get through. Anyway, you obsess about them like you think they obsess over their feelings. No, they do obsess over their feelings. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Citizen crafty method. You're kind of an idiot here, I gotta say. I mean, you're obviously just trying to push my buttons and whatever, but I'm gonna answer your thing anyway, because I think it's it matters. No, if a person is not, oh God, that is such a dumb statement. I'm obsessing over their feelings more than they're. No, the only reason I know about their feelings is because they're obsessing about it and need me. So when this guy started insulting me, and I just, ignored it for 15 minutes until he got to the point where he's just flat out calling me an asshole. That wasn't me inflating his feelings. That was him having these feelings that he needed me to respond to. So I don't know, you're just being full of shit. And Mr. Landfill, feel free to block that guy. He's said enough dumb things. We don't need any more stupid things. And I do not apologize if you get blocked, motherfucker. Jaimie is on fire today. I love it. I feel a little bit a little bit freed up if I write there may be swearing in the title, because then I can swear. Oh, that guy just disappeared. Oh, thank you, Mr. Landfill. That was great. Don't watch if this offends you. Yeah, that guy's. No, I don't actually have a problem with someone disagreeing with me, but if you're just gonna be a dick about it, piss off. Oh, get out of here. There's a mosquito in here. Concern trolling. Oh my God, he kept going on and on. There's a whole bunch of messages. Oh, I'm glad you blocked that guy, because that was just. Yeah, he was doing exactly what I was saying. Mr. Landfill says, "Why are you so hurt by this?" Yeah, citizen crafty method, whatever. It's you're doing exactly what I was just talking about. You're getting so worked up and upset Because what? Because the internet, I have to get angry. Like, what are you even getting angry about? Like, take a deep breath, relax, chill out. Maybe oh God. All right, let's just move on. You came here to listen to him. If you don't like it, you guys can go, exactly. You know, don't be here all getting upset like I've come into your house, like I turned on this screen and forced you to watch it. No, you clicked on this. You're in control. You can turn me off anytime. It's so insane. Maybe it's a good thing this happened, because it's like a perfect example of what I've just been talking about this whole time. Like, someone puts themselves in a situation where someone is irritating them, and they're just like, this. I have to put effort into being in front of this person, listening to them. Like they're using their electricity to listen to me say things they don't like. Like, that's just dumb. Why would you use your own energy and put your own time and effort into listening to someone just so you can get upset? Now, if you want to go listen to someone who you disagree with, who upsets you, because maybe you think you could learn something from it, totally fine, totally reasonable. But if you're just going to sit there and get upset and bitch and moan, like, why are you wasting your time? Stop it, man. Don't you have things to do? You got things to do in life. You got life to live. You have a limited amount of time on this earth, and you're going to piss it away on stuff like that? Oh, for one, you should never do anything to apologize for. If someone is offended, that's on them. Well, you should never do anything you have to apologize for. But, like, people make mistakes. And I will totally admit I've made mistakes. And often usually if someone gets upset at me, it's because I said something kind of in a colorful way, you know, like maybe in a kind of callous way, because I'm just kind of joking around. And I think I'm in company where you can kind of joke around and whatever. And in those cases, I will sometimes be like, oh, well, sorry, I was being a little more callous than I should have been. I thought it was going to go over okay, but my mistake. And move on, whatever. But yeah, I mean, don't apologize for stuff that you didn't do. I'm not gonna apologize and say, well, I apologize for what you think I meant. No, that's dumb. Agree. If you disagree, shut up and listen or leave. I don't even think you need to shut up and listen or leave. Like, I think you can disagree in a completely reasonable way. Like, I am totally comfortable disagreeing with people. And this is another thing that I have a lot of difficulty with in social situations. And maybe I shouldn't say I have difficulty with it. Other people have difficulty dealing with me in certain social situations. Because if I disagree with someone, I'll just say it, like, yeah, I totally disagree. And I don't think of it as anything offensive or anything like that. But today, people are like, if you disagree with them, they think you're insulting them personally. And so often I find myself being like, hey, I'm just disagreeing with you. I don't think you're a bad person. You can think that, and I can think this, and it's not a big deal, man. Like, you do the best of what you think you should be doing, and I'll do the best of what I think I should be doing. And there's no reason those should always match up. We're different people. We're going to think different things. Like, I hope you agree with me that we shouldn't murder each other. Like, there are certain things that I think we really need to agree on, but there are a lot of other things. Like, you want a lawn full of grass. I want a lawn full of banana trees. It doesn't mean one's right or one's wrong. They're different. There's different advantages to each one. You want grass, that's right for you. I want banana trees, that's right for me. Like, people don't have to agree on everything all the time. It's totally insane. You should be able to disagree and just not having a giant emotional response to it. Dave says, if anyone ever wonders why they get upset at stuff, just look at the Buddhist and the empty boat. Buddhist and the empty boat. Can you elaborate? Is it short enough that you could like make a little summary here? But yeah, if people, generally speaking, when people get upset easily, it's because something is wrong with them, not with everything else. And I definitely notice this with myself. Like, I get upset at very little when I'm in an environment like I'm in here. And it's not until I'm in an environment like if I go to a city or I'm around stressful people and they stress me out, then I can start getting just like losing patience and getting more easily irritated by things, right? And it has more to do with just the state of like my state of mind than what is actually around me. And it really irritates me when I start getting irritated with my kids, because I always know it's not my kids, it's me. Like there's something bothering me that has nothing to do with my kids. Anyway. We can help you with your hurtness. All boats are empty these days. Yeah. Well, not all boats, but Sir Docman says free speech, but why here? It's his channel. Oh yeah, well, if someone's gonna go on about, oh, that's a funny one. I didn't actually catch this comment, but someone else did. I guess the guy who got blocked is complaining that he should have free speech on my channel, but that's not how free speech works. Free speech works in a public place. If you go into someone else's house, you can't say whatever you want to them, because if you start getting offensive, they can ask you to leave, and if you don't leave, then you're trespassing. Like that's free speech does not mean you get to say whatever you want anytime, anywhere. It means you get to say whatever you want in a public place. You know, as long as you're not being violent or something. Like if you are calmly stating facts that people don't want to hear, I don't care if you are like the worst Nazi in the universe. If you are standing in a public place saying the most horrible, offensive things ever, I think you should have the right to do that. And I may not be near you, but if you start chasing me and come to my house, I'm going to punch you out. You know, like free speech. Free speech is about in a public place, not at someone's house. And this is my house. You know, this is my channel. This is my thing. If you're doing a live and I show up there, you get to decide who gets blocked and who doesn't, right? Yeah, good point. Whoever said that. Yeah. Sir Doc Mad, exactly. This is not just a public place. This is something I put here. And I don't even feel like I need to block people because of me. I need to, like, I'm responsible for what's going on in the comments here because I put this here, right? If someone's screwing it up with all kinds of angry, dumb comments and just, you know, screwing up the whole mood, I feel it's my responsibility to do something about that person. And thank you, Mr. Landfill, for being awesome and helping me with that. You're super cool, man. All right. I guess the question for him is, does this make him feel better? If so, let him cook. Go free speech on your own channel. Yeah, exactly. Hello. Whoa, someone's got is that a Russian name? Hi, I can't even read what that says because I don't know what those letters are. But I can understand the hi. Levy says, one may think or believe I'm just an asshole. Feel free. Been called way worse by family. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think it's fine that people think you're an asshole, but and people I don't even care if people think I'm an asshole, but if you start yelling at it in my face, I think it's completely reasonable for me to make you go away. You know, either if it's on the internet, I can block you, or like it's totally reasonable. But if you think I'm an asshole, but you're like I've had friends who are kind of assholes, but you know, when we hang out, we can have fun doing certain things and blah, blah, blah. I've had friends who are horribly racist. And that doesn't mean we can't hang out. And, you know, if I have an opportunity to maybe nudge his racism in a kinder direction, he was super racist against white people, which is funny because I was white. And he was always like, I don't know about this. You're white, man. Anyway, but like, you know, you don't have to always agree with everything someone thinks and says to be able to be civil with them or even be able to do things with them. I think it's actually really valuable to have friends and cooperate with people who have vastly different ways of thinking, because that's how we connect better. If everyone gets in their little groups and never interacts with the other group, then they do this thing where they just have all these thoughts festering in their little bubble. But then you actually talk to the other people, and then you realize, oh, well, they're not actually horrible people. They're just people too. This is something that happened like in World War I, I don't know, probably World War II also, but when they were doing the trenches, like you'd have enemy soldiers like really close to each other. They're just in their trenches, ready to shoot the other guy if anyone got out. So they'd just be like a stalemate. And they'd end up talking to each other and kind of like getting along. And what happened is generals started moving troops around so they wouldn't get to know the enemy, which is the opposite of what we should always be doing. We should always be getting to know the enemy and making them not the enemy, Anyway. Oh, let's see. Where is I? It's funny you mentioned family. My family does not entirely approve of me, which is fine, whatever. Someone are just trying to help people. I really admire Jaimie. He is a doer, not a look what he did. What did you do? Thank you very much. From Russia with love. It is Russian. Oh, I recognize the Russian. Yeah, I have no idea what it says. But I hope things are going well in Russia right now. We are glad you are here to save us. No, Mr. Landfill, you're saving me. I agree. No more eggshell walking. Sean McGuire, I am taking the oath with you. Just don't hold it against me too much. I might forget at some point and screw up. But yeah, no more eggshell walking. Yeah, it doesn't fix anything. It just puts things off till later. If someone's being all like manipulating you by saying you're hurting their feelings by doing totally normal things, you just keep doing those normal things. Yeah, no more walking on eggshells. I'm gonna have to make a poster of that. I've got To Thine Own Self Be True here. That reminds me of important things. I've got There Is No Tomorrow and a few other things. I gotta put no more walking on eggshells. Something related to that. Put it up on the wall to remind myself. Watching from England, United Kingdom. Been watching you since your hair was black. Oh my God, like a million years ago. Wow, the chainmail is back. Dude, the chainmail never left. I wear it a couple times a week, just, during morning exercises. Was wondering if that was chainmail. Yes. And this one is getting a little bit rusty. I made it when I was still living in Vermont. So I don't know. I had it for a while there. It's probably over 20 years old anyway. Maybe 25 years old. I don't know. It's just pretty old. It's starting to get a little bit rusty. It's fencing wire. So I think it's galvanized fencing wire. So it did resist rust, but it's starting to get a bit rusty. But I'm making a new one that's stainless steel. So hopefully it'll be ready before this one falls apart. If this one really starts falling apart, I'll just have to finish that one faster. I've been searching for a mad scientist building a castle on an island for years, trying to find you again. So glad you are still making content. Never stop building, brother. Glad I found you again. Well, thanks, man. Archmezzi. Being a genuinely good, nice person is very difficult in the world today. It is, man. Yeah, there is so much pressure to be a jerk. Being kind is really hard. I've seen these rants before. Jaimie, if you put the nice guy away for a while, no one would blame you. Keep him close to your heart. Well, I think that's part of the trick, is being a nice guy, but also standing your ground. So I don't ever want to become not a nice guy, even though I know there are massive advantages in our society to not being a nice guy. Once I did this experiment, it was many years ago, where I was like, they say girls always like jerks. I'm going to test that. So for a month, I'm just not going to be nice. Oh my God, girls loved it. Like I could just, it was really kind of like, it was amazing and frustrating and depressing all at the same time. Because like I could meet women so easily and basically get them to do anything I wanted. But I had zero respect for them because I was not treating them well. And I would just think, well, if I'm treating you this poorly and you are doing whatever I want, you cannot have much respect for yourself. And I have no respect for you. So I, after that month, I was like, all right, I don't want to do that anymore because it's not good in any kind of long-term way. But you do get like massive benefits to being a dick. But it doesn't create a good society. You got to be a nice guy. You have to have the strength to keep being kind, even though there's massive pressure to not be kind. But also don't walk on those eggshells. Like being kind doesn't mean you have to have sympathy for people's stupid feelings. When people have feelings, give them a hug. But if their feelings are stupid and they're just getting angry at you for no reason, yeah, I don't think it's being kind to anyone, including them, to be all to their dumb feelings. Anyway, yes. When did you last go to Canada? And when will you next go on holiday and where? Go on holiday? Why would I want to go anywhere? I'm on a tropical island. Like, this is where I want to go on holiday. Like, I love it here. Yeah, I have no plans to go anywhere. The last time I was in Canada was when I left North America to come here like 10 years ago. I bought a U-Haul truck, like an old U-Haul truck, and I turned it into a little, I don't know, like a camper van kind of thing. I took my little family on a trip around North America. We went to Canada, mostly up and down the East Coast, just visiting family and friends and stuff. I did go to Canada, went down to Florida, all the stuff between, visited people, and then I left, and that was the last time. So yeah, about a oh man, yeah, about a decade ago, I was in North America and visited people. Levy Lamb says, buy him some tampons. Yeah, that's something we would have said, like when I was a kid, and a guy was getting gossipy or like getting upset about something that was just ridiculous, we might say, somebody get him some tampons or something like that, which was totally not acceptable today. But I'm just saying it for historical reference. But that is the kind of thing people used to say when I was a kid. Hello from Brazil. What's going on, man? Oh my God, that guy left so many messages. That is crazy. Oh, he was so angry. Woo! How did you have 2 baby deliveries on an island? At the hospital, which is 2 different hospitals, actually. One over there and one over there. They're like, by motorboat, they're like an hour, well, less than an hour away. I mean, obviously, it depends on the boat. In a fast boat, you get there in like half an hour, maybe even 25 minutes. If someone has a real fast boat. My boat takes a few hours. But when there's any kind of medical situation, like that time I almost bled to death, I can go to the bar that's not too far from here and just say, hey, medical emergency. And the guy at the bar will be like, all right, hold on. And he'll just call someone and be like, hey, medical emergency. And he knows a bunch of guys with fast boats around. And he'll be like, can you give this guy a ride? And he's like, yeah, how much? All right, this much. Yeah, I'll pay that. All right, come. And then, but if I go on my boat, it's a few hours. Although there's also a taxi that goes to town, like a ferry kind of taxi. It's not a taxi, but it's like a regular, it's like kind of like a boat bus, goes on a regular route back and forth. And, generally with pregnancy, we don't wait till the last minute or anything. So it's not that much of a rush to get there. But anyway, yeah. Life is too short to solve everyone's mental issues. Not time for that bullshit. You are correct. The stupid thing is, like, what's been stressing me out, which was giving me headaches for the last couple of days, is I was just like, how am I ever going to have any friends if everyone's always offended around me? I'm never going to have any friends. But then, the conclusion I came to was, I'm not going to keep friends by like catering to that nonsense. So whether or not I have friends is a separate issue. In fact, I think there's more of a chance that I'll keep friends if I'm just honest and truthful about things. And I'm like, yeah, you're kind of being ridiculous here, man. That doesn't make any sense at all. Quit pulling this bullshit on me, Don't do that crap, I don't think that's any more likely to lose a friend than, apologizing when there's not it's not real. You are an example of someone that does not give up and makes awesome things. Well, thank you, man. I gotta admit, every once in a while, I do feel a little like giving up, just because there's so many frustrations. But yeah, I always get through it somehow and get to a point where I'm like, all right, I can get myself into a mental state where things are excellent again. All I wear in UK, you from? Oh, Ali, Muhammad Ali. Oh, someone's name is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, where in UK you from? I'm also from the UK in Kent. Shadowmancer says, woot, Jaimie dropped the hammer, love it. Kingcraft Farm Workshop. You have been the main inspiration and motivation for starting a new YouTube journey. So just want to say massive thanks, Jaimie. Trying to give back a bit after leeching for so many years. Well, thanks, man. That's excellent. I gotta say, like, moral support is like awesome. I love getting the moral support. It's really good. I mean, any financial support is also very much appreciated, but like moral support, don't underestimate the value of that. That is really good stuff. I have been looking into wearing a vest daily. What are your thoughts of aluminium versus stainless? Oh, I would totally go with stainless. Like, well, I mean, it depends what you want it for. If you want it just to be pretty or something, I guess you could go with aluminium. But if you're comfortable with the fact that it's going to give you some weight and you'll build some muscles and get stronger, which is an excellent thing in my opinion, totally go with the stainless. Plus, the stainless is going to rub off less. Like, I guess it depends on what grade of aluminum it is. But a lot of that kind of stuff will like kind of rub off on your clothes or on your skin and stuff. But the stainless steel, it doesn't like rub off at all. I would totally recommend stainless steel, 100%, man, for a lot of reasons. What if you have an entire matrix of lies between oneself and the ones that ask for apologies? Oh yeah, that's basically the problem. Especially if it's someone, like, the longer you've known someone and the longer the festering has gone on, the more bullshit has built up, and it gets to a point where it's like, I can't explain it away. I cannot address every problem that you think I'm doing, because you've just built up all this stuff in your head. You've cherry-picked phrases I've said and kind of lined them up and made this whole matrix of bullshit around it and said, now you're a bad person, you have to apologize. Yeah, at that point, there's no explanation for it. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Just fucking stop it. Yeah. RX Use 10, can I have a shout out? I don't know. Does that count as a shout out? I'll read all the comments. User Togo says, avoid Wait, I'm going to read it the way you wrote it. Aluminum. Avoid aluminum near your body. True. Totally. Yeah. Basically what I said. I love Jaimie Unchained. Let's see. True. He does it all and enjoys when it works out. And when it is not, he makes it work. And I'm inspired by his endurance and tenacity. Well, thanks, Luke. Yeah, I got to say, sometimes when things are not working out for a while, it can get pretty demoralizing and frustrating stuff. But one thing I've learned, and one thing I always remind myself of, is that if you keep pushing, like, even when things seem like they're totally not going to work, often, like, there's something you didn't notice, or something that kind of gets freed up by some effort, or like I many times in my life, I've been in dire situations where it just seemed like there was no way to get something to work. But then I keep pushing and pushing, and then like suddenly it's like, oh wait, no, there is a way to do it. And then it's like, poof. But you can't give up at that point where there's massive resistance. Like you got to keep poking around and keep pushing. And there was something that happened really recently. I can't remember what it was. It was like a couple weeks ago. Oh, I wish I remember what it was. It'd be great story to have right now. But yeah, it was something where I got to a point where I was just completely stuck and felt completely like I'm at a dead end. I have no idea how to get through this. But I kept, thinking, and like 2 days later, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Why didn't I think of that? And then there was a solution, So often that happens. And this is because I'm a sci-fi nerd. But this was one of the main themes in a show that I really liked. Maybe I should watch this with my kids because there's some good stuff in that show. Stargate Atlantis. There was this guy named Rodney, and he was like the nerdy science guy. And over, he would come up to these situations that were just like impossible. Like there was just no way to figure it out. And then somehow by the end of the show, he would figure it out. And it was just a really good reminder that it doesn't matter how impossible a situation seems, there may be a solution that you're just not seeing yet. Often and I'm not going to say always, because sometimes you're just screwed. Like if you're falling into a volcano and you're being burned up and there's nothing to grab onto, you're probably just kind of screwed. But like in a lot of situations that feel like they're just like dire and dead ends, and often you keep poking around, you keep pushing, like something pops up, or you figure something out, or you push over an obstacle that just seemed like it was impossible to move, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, I can totally do this, Trying to reason with stupid. Yeah, trying to reason with stupid is. Yeah, there's a meme online of some guru. What's his name? Oh, Sad Guru. I don't think he's sad though. Anyway. This guru is having conversation with a guy, and it's just comic book like bubbles talking, and he says, and the one guy says to this guru, he says, "What is the secret to happiness?" And the guru says, "To not argue with fools." And the guy says, No, that's not right. And he says, "You are correct." Yeah. I would not be here if I did not love listening to you. Well, thank you, Sir Doc Mad. That guy, okay, Mr. Landfill, talking, oh my God, there's a whole bunch of messages that got erased. That guy came here trying to troll and get banned. His second account was all set to start yelling about free speech. Mr. Landfill, I gotta say, huge thanks to you for always moderating this. I appreciate you a lot, man. Super cool. Yeah, man. When you're at the point where you're getting banned from something, and then you come in with a second account and just try to start shit. Obviously, when you're in that situation doing it, it's hard to see yourself because you're insane. But if you can just stop for a minute and look at what you're doing, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Remember this, don't let the wussy bug you. When I didn't ban him right away, I think he got confused. Hello from Russia. Good luck for everyone. Thank you from Russia. To Russia with love. Right, I think time is the second dimension, and they say it's the fourth dimension. Agree to disagree. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can number them any way you want, I guess. And that was the second account, yeah. Buddhist can't reach enlightenment in temple. goes to old monk who tells him to try on lake on boat, sitting on boat on cusp of ascension when suddenly feels boat rock. Jumps up, cursing other boat owner, furious that he was so close to peace, only to find that it was an empty boat that had floated over. Anger comes from within, not from outside. He was upset. Yeah, so the story is basically the Buddhist is told that to reach enlightenment, he has to go out on the lake. So he gets in a boat, goes out on the lake, and starts doing his meditation. And he feels the boat rock, and he gets angry. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he realizes that it's just some empty other boat bumping his thing. Or it could have been wind, or it could be waves from a gopher that jumped in the water. Yeah, it's like, it's really easy to presume things you should be upset about, but you should reserve that getting upset until, I mean, kind of like when I was having that conversation with that guy who was insulting me. I feel like I actually did the right thing there, which was to ignore the minor insults until it got really blatant. And it was like, oh, okay, this guy needs me to acknowledge that he's calling me an asshole. Like, I think it's good to not jump to the conclusion right away. Like, presume the best until it becomes obvious that, okay, you know, this is something I should. You don't even have to get upset about it. Just deal with, you know. Let's see. Okay, there's another explanation of the boat. Haven't checked in for a while. Was finishing college and starting my career. Saw that you have 4 kiddos now. Remember when it was the 4 of you in the island? Yeah. Man, I hope your career is going well. Best explanation of. Oh crap, now I don't remember what I said. Oh well. Is that a chainmail? Yes, we already went over that. Exactly, how would one get hit by an empty boat? Just wind. Sir Mansell of Camelot, have ye bringeth the interdimensional light to the station yet? I need to, well, I'll have to get the interdimensional light. On my wall is the quote, be the person you needed when you were younger. That's a good one. Be the person you needed when you were younger. That's how I try to parent my kids. I try to be the dad that I needed when I was younger. And I don't mean to say anything bad about my dad, but you know, my parents were just kind of like normal, not parents. That was just the normal thing. That was just the normal accepted thing, to not really be parents. You know, send your kids to school, send them to daycare, get them out of the house, tell them to go away, then, you know, get divorced and be too angry to deal with the kids but take it out on the kids. You know, it's just a total normal thing. I don't mean to single out my parents, but I feel like they didn't do the greatest job. So yeah, I try to be the dad that I needed when I was a kid. Does wonders, especially when dealing with kids. Ah, yes, exactly. Lexi says, I'm 63. Filter wore out years ago. I type or say exactly what I think. It's just me, and yes, I can be an asshole and not consider anyone's feelings. Nothing would ever get said. Yeah, I personally, I get more offended when people try not to offend me. Like once, I don't know why this is the example I think of, but like once years ago, a TV crew came out and they were shooting a pilot for a TV show about me and blah, blah. It didn't end up going anywhere, so don't ask. But during the thing, you know, the director, he was actually really good. I like this director a lot. But, you know, I would do something on camera and the director would be like, all right, I was hoping that, and he would come at me very, very cautiously. And I was like, all right, look, dude, if you want me to do something different, just barf it out at me. Like, don't worry about my feelings. I'm not going to get offended. I want to do a good job here. You want to do a good job here. That's what I care about. I'm not going to take any of this personally. I just want to do whatever's going to get a good thing on camera, right? And after that, he was like, oh, okay, so I can just, and after that, he was just like, all right, say it more like this, do like that. And it was just so much easier to get things done, you know, when we could just freely say stuff. Because when he first started being real cautious, I was like, stop, you're offending me. You're offending me by saying that I'm fragile and you can't say it. Just say it, man. Treat me like an adult. Yeah, I really like it when people don't worry so much about the feeling. Like just say what you got to say. I remember Vermont. I remember the videos of you making the chainmail in the dark room and the giant spider bot build. I remember that stuff too. Mr. Landfill spent too many years being angry. I like being a nice guy better. Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, it's annoying that our society pushes men to be cruel, because we don't want to do that. It's not fun. It's also not good for society, you know. Anyway, Jaimie, maybe you can make a shout on air if someone have access to discarded wind turbine blades to build new things from them. Still no luck with it. Oh, yoke, you're looking for wind turbine blades. Well, if anyone has any discarded wind turbine blades, yoke one here wants them. I think that's what you're saying. But I don't really have that many viewers, so. Oh, Frank says Trump or Biden. Like I have nothing to do with North America at this point. You have to use that good quality camera, your videos. How is the dome holding up? This is holding up great, actually. It's pretty good, yeah. Good one. Fast boat, build the flying hydrofoil, yeah. Okay, Shadowmancer says, I'm trying to understand that feelings are always true, but they're not, because we're learning more and more about how extraordinarily powerful the hormone chemicals are. But the reason for the feeling can be stupid. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you have a feel, like, how do you say the feeling is true? Like, obviously, if a person is feeling a feeling, they're feeling it. But I think it's totally important to acknowledge if a feeling is dumb or if it makes sense. Because if you just acknowledge all of your feelings, and this is something that's like this is not a new thing. This has been around forever. You're going to have knee-jerk reactions to things. When you're a child, you get upset because you have a knee-jerk reaction. That made me angry. And then you learn as you grow up to deal with your own feelings and realizing sometimes the first initial feeling you get from something is not the one you should be feeling. So if someone brings you the blue cupcake, but you wanted the purple one, your first reaction might be, when you're a child, I got the wrong color. But as you grow up, you realize, oh, I got the wrong color. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is that I got a cupcake. I'm happy that I got a cupcake. And it's like, today people are just not growing up. It's like, no, if I have a feeling, any feeling I have, you need to respect it and acknowledge it. And it's like, well, why don't you just shut up and eat the blue cupcake, man? If you want a cupcake? Yeah, I want a cupcake, but I wanted the purple one. You got the blue one. Sorry, man. Now you can just be miserable and upset, or you can be happy that you got a cupcake. What's going to make for a better life? Oh, man. Can you make your videos with good quality camera? Now they are blurry, overcasted, bad visibility. Dude, I don't know. If you're coming here for like high video quality, you're on the wrong channel. Sorry, man. And what I'm doing right now, it's with a tablet, and this is over the internet. So I don't know what the connection is like right now, whatever. And the camera I have is the camera I have. And I don't have like a cameraman. It's just me by myself. And most of the time, like I'm focused on the project I'm doing. And I'm like, all my energy is going into that. And I don't have all this time and energy to put into setting up lighting and getting the focus right. Like that's not what my channel is about. Shepherd's Chapel YouTube explains the whole Bible. God bless. Very good. Hey, can you create a skibbity sword? What's a skibbity sword? Skibbity sword. What the heck is a skibbity sword? Okay, hopefully I remember that. I'll try to look it up. Skibbity sword. Nah, I'm not going to write it down. Maybe I'll remember. Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity. Authenticity can be hard to find. Definitely be yourself always. Yes. Any update on dragon scales, second floor, lumber mill, running path? My running path is getting longer because it's going all the way around my house now. Because like I have a running path that goes like down here along the canal, up my other little island and back, and there's a bridge between, and then it did go up this hill, and then you just go back down. But pretty soon you'll be able to go up this hill and then like down the other side. It'll be more like a figure eight kind of thing. I haven't done anything on the roof. Campground, guest huts, kayaks. I started making another kayak, but it's been rainy for a few days, so I actually have the top of the new kayak in the mold waiting to be pulled out, but it was rainy yesterday and the day before that, and hey, I am late, Craig says. Craig, yes, you're late, you're in big trouble now, I'm so upset. Cam says, loved Atlantis. Somehow I knew you were a fan. Been a patron for years and still happy to be one. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, my Patreon is, it's really nice because it's like a pretty steady bit of income for me. But it's like over the years, it's just slowly gone down. Maybe I should say more about it every now and then, so maybe more people can go on there. But anyway. Thank you for doing that. I don't know if you mean a patron in general or you mean a patron on Patreon, but either way, thank you, man. Do you have Starlink for internet? I do not. I just have an antenna on my house that aims at another house that aims at an antenna that's like 15 miles away. Jaimie, just want to say you're awesome and an inspiration. Keep on keeping on. Well, thank you, man. Excellent. Shadowmancer also appreciates Mr. Landfill. Yes, Mr. Landfill, you're great. Rusty, YouTube is censoring your comments again. Oh, no, that's terrible. So yeah, apparently if you write a comment here and I don't read it, there's a chance that it's just YouTube is just censoring you because, I don't know, maybe you said the wrong words. Wait, what's wrong with being an asshole? This guy can type asshole and it doesn't censor him. Why is someone being censored? I just made sure I maxed out my charisma. What's wrong with being an asshole? I just made sure I maxed out my charisma. Yeah. I don't think you should be an asshole. And I don't think maxing out your charisma makes up for it. Can you compare living on an island like Bahamas versus your own private island? Also, do you recommend starting on an island like Bahamas to prepare before moving to your own private island? Well, interestingly enough, I lived in the Bahamas for, 3 months, one winter, the winter before coming here. It's a similar kind of thing. I don't think you need to do that first. I say just put all your resources into doing the thing you want to do. Let's see. Yeah, the real reason I spent a winter in the Bahamas before, just leaving and going on an island hunting expedition is just because we weren't ready to go yet. And I typically went somewhere in the winter. Usually I'd visit family in the South, and that was just kind of the time that I visited family. But my family was getting difficult, and I was like, let's just go somewhere cool. But let's see, when I was living in the Bahamas, it was very different than here because here there is no neighbor that I can walk to. Like I have to get into a boat to go to a neighbor. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing about living on an island. It's like you can't just pop over next door and say hello or whatever. I can yell at someone. There are a few few people here close enough that I can yell and have a conversation, kind of, across the water, because there's nothing blocking the sound, so the sound carries real far. But yeah, when I lived in the Bahamas, I had a neighbor right there, and I could get to a store. There was a restaurant I could walk to. Yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing. I really like being on an island, though. It's really awesome. Good idea for the used wind blades. It's actually Levy with a long I, like the jeans. Oh, Levi. Okay. I'm insulted and typing all kinds of disparaging remarks. Does it hurt your feelings? Oh, man. Levi Lamb. Now I'm saying your name right. Good. Shadow Mansion says, I don't understand negative comments about camera quality. I think the quality is great. Well, there is definitely in my videos. Well, I don't know about this doing the lives. The lives are largely dependent on the internet connection, and I share it with someone else, and she might be on the internet. I don't know. But anyway, when I do my, videos with my camera, I know the lighting in my house is not great for video. It's great. It's great for my eyeballs because there's just light everywhere. But when you have light coming in from all directions, it's not good for a camera because, like I'm always saying, I'm always backlit. Like right now, I'm not backlit because the sun is in that direction and there's only a little bit of windows showing behind me. But, during the middle of the day, light is coming in all the windows from all directions. So I'm backlit no matter where I go, unless I put something behind myself. And then even when I'm outside, like if I'm standing in the shade because I don't want to get a sunburn, but there's stuff, lit up stuff also in the scene that I end up coming out dark and the lighting isn't great. But yeah, I mean, I can't. If I had someone who was a camera person who could think about that stuff and do a good job on that, then it could greatly improve. But just trying to do it by myself and work on difficult projects where I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to complete them a lot of times. Yeah, the camera is always secondary to me. Just the way it is. Jaimie, can you give a zoomed out overview update starting with your goal to build a castle on an island? What's the current state? Zoomed out overview update starting with your goal. So basically, well, I mean, if you watch the Adventure Builder movie, that kind of goes through the stuff. Are you talking about like starting from the goal of building the place to doing it? Go on my channel. The main video on there is the Adventure Builder movie, and you can skip through a bunch of it, but like a lot of it is just me building this place and dealing with the island and stuff. I guess I don't get into the details of everything, but yeah, I don't know if that helps. But I have been thinking about, just doing a general update at some point. At what point did you know that you was leaving North America? I think you mean you were leaving North America, but at what point did you know that you were leaving North America and wanted to live on an island? I believe you started on a country island and then transitioned to your own island. How did that prepare you? Well, I'm still part of a country. I'm still in the country of Panama. I was living in a house on another island, not too far from here, just renting. And I wouldn't say that prepared me. That was just where I was staying while I was trying to convince someone to sell me an island. Wait, what was the whole? Oh yeah, at what point did you know that you were leaving North America? Well, it's something I'd been thinking about for a while, but once I had kids, I really started feeling the pressure to get out of the culture I was in. The culture being just, screen culture. Like all the kids are into screens and just acting like idiots. And, it's just, I did not think that being in North America was the best place to raise kids. Now there might be, I'm sure there are places where there are good neighborhoods with, you know, with parents who are actually raising their kids and all that. Just I wasn't in one, and there were also just a lot of rules, like homeschooling was difficult. Homeschooling has gotten a lot easier since the pandemic, from what I understand, and all that. But yeah, it was like once I had kids, I was just really feeling the pressure to get them into a place where they would be free to play in the dirt, build tree forts. Um, and I wouldn't be so restricted. Like in a lot of places in North America, if you want to build your kids a tree fort on your own property, your neighbor can complain about it and make you tear it down. Like, like you got to ask permission. Like stuff like that is just insane to me. It doesn't make any sense. Here, though, I mean, I can make my kids a tree fort wherever I want. They can basically do whatever I want, not anything I want, but there's just a lot more freedom to raise your own children. And in North America, I felt like there was so much pressure to have school and TV and internet raise your kids instead. I don't like that. Did you enjoy the presidential debate? I did not watch the presidential debate. Yeah, no. I just have other things to do. Yo, Jaimie, when submarine? I don't know, man. Man, you guys are like commenting a lot today. I was not planning this to be that long. Skibbity is related to modern meme culture. Okay, I don't know what it is. Skibbity toilet related to scat music, Scatman. I don't know. Forget Skibbity before it takes root in your brain. It's a terrible meme thing. Agreed. Jaimie, this video is crystal clear in Massachusetts. Excellent. That's pretty crazy that you're like thousands of miles away and you can just like blam. Have you used AI for anything yet? Thoughts on it? I think there are a lot of problems with AI, particularly in people relying on AI to do their thinking for them. And a lot of things fall into that category. Yeah, I think yeah, like once you have some machine doing all your thinking for you, then what's the point of even being alive? Like what? There's no point in living, you know, if you just export everything you do and think to a machine and it all just does it for you. I've played around with some AI pictures, you know, you type in like spaghetti banana and then you get some funny pictures of like a guy with spaghetti coming out of his head and another one. I don't know, it's just pretty silly stuff. Yeah, I haven't done anything like useful with AI. Does the solitude and isolation ever get to you, or you feel like you are able to properly socialize and spend time with humans enough to not be too lonely? Live streaming helps supplement. I always feel alone. Like maybe I shouldn't say always. It's a rare time when I'm with people who make me feel like I'm not alone. Because, you know, I'm a little weird. So usually if I'm around other people, I feel more lonely than I do when I'm alone. Because when I'm alone, I'm like, oh, I'm alone. I should feel like I'm alone. And if I go around other people, I can not be alone. But then when I go around other people and I still feel alone, it's just like, wow, now I feel really alone. You know? So I don't know, like being isolated physically isn't as much of an issue for me as being isolated just in terms of not being able to connect with people in a meaningful way. And I mean, I say partly that's because I'm weird, but I also know a lot of people who feel the same way. They just feel like they can't connect with other people. Like in a real way, you know, like obviously you can spend time with people and do stuff, but like actually connecting with another person is, and again, you know, a lot of it comes down to the quarantines and people got used to being isolated and it's harder to connect with people and people get angry and and offended so easily. There's all these things that make it harder to really connect with a person. So I don't think that me living on an island makes me any lonelier than anyone else. Thoughts on getting a Starlink? Wait, did I miss anything? Oh yeah, and when I don't know, the live streaming helps, I guess. I don't know. I do also have a personality that is comfortable with being alone. Like I found in my life, if I want to be alone for a few months or a year or whatever, the first week is kind of hard, and then after that it's just easy. Like I can just be alone and be completely comfortable with my own company. Of course, now I have kids, so I can't do that. Anyway, thoughts on getting a Starlink? Well, Starlink uses a lot of electricity, which is one problem. Other than that, I don't know. The internet works. I guess I don't think about the internet that much because it's not that important a thing to me, which is kind of silly because, I do all this YouTube stuff. Are you using Telegram yet? No. You can send and receive any type of currency, and communication is also very full-featured. Well, internet communication, I don't find it full-featured at all, which is kind of ironic that you said that. I think the full-featured communication is when you are face-to-face with someone in the same place talking to them. That's what I think full-featured communication is. Talking through electronic stuff. There's a big barrier in it, It's only, Chillfang says, it's only with my family that I feel seen. I've always felt like I'm from another planet. When I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, it all made sense. That's awesome that you feel seen around your family. Yeah, when I'm around my family, like when I was growing up, I could get along with everyone, and it was fine, but I always knew that I couldn't be me really. Like I always had to put on this fake load of shit to just be like, I don't know. Yeah, like I get along with everyone, but I wasn't being a real person. I was just being stick a crank in my head and blah, 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 la, la. Charismatic, here we go, la, 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 la. And that's what I felt like. I always felt like a dancing monkey. Because if I ever said anything real, like that time I was like, you guys know the Federal Reserve is a private bank? Oh, yes, of course. And I'm like, you don't think that's a problem? Oh, what's wrong with you? Conspiracy theory. And I'd be like, all right, never mind. Charisma, hello, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome if you feel heard around your family. That is super cool. Because a lot of people don't. Thanks for being vulnerable and answering. Been a fan since you first moved to the island and have seen every video religiously since. Love your content and inspiring work ethic. I've been talking too long. I'm starting to slur my words. Good job. Enjoyed the rant. Take care. Catch you later, Levi. Oh, Blackwater boys. What's going on, man? I think we connect, man. I hear you about being more lonely. Just went to a party, man. People are strange. Yeah, it can be really depressing when you go around people and it just makes you feel more lonely. Dave says, talking about not connecting with people in a meaningful way to a crowd of people fascinated by your lifestyle. How is your food garden coming along? Oh my gosh, it's so slow. Growing food is so slow. When you build things, you connect it and then it's ready to go. But growing stuff, man, I have these 2 apple trees that I'm really excited about. Oh, look at that. So many leaves. But yeah, they're growing really well. I have a bunch of bananas on a tree right there and a bunch of plantains, which are a different kind of bananas over there, 3 or 4. I had 4 bunches of plantains. I took one. We ate it already. But I don't know. I'm slowly growing more food. I would not say my garden is excellent since I started with really dense clay on this island, but I'm getting there. And there are mangoes on my mango tree right now. Oh, mangoes! Oh. Let's see. I have Starlink, 60 watts, unless there is snow. It's the cost that sucks. 60 watts is a lot. Like, my house does not use that much electricity. I use very little electricity. I think my internet uses like 5 or 10. 60 watts that's a significant amount of electricity for my system. The last two presidents that tried to do away with the Federal Reserve were Lincoln and Kennedy, and they both got shot. Yep. I am 100% sure if we ever meet, I will have a good time for a few days until you get tired of me. Levi says, McKinley, 1903, was he against the Federal Reserve? Anyway, so we should have tried to convince Obama to ditch the Fed in the first term. Oh, I think everyone should ditch the Fed personally, but anyway, thanks for highlighting how important it is to have strong morals. Lying on a daily basis, committing adultery when you have a new child, stealing, this is evil. Yeah, all that stuff is no good, man. All right, I'm going to get out of here in a minute. Oh, I'm covering the thing. If anyone has any last minute comments, the funny thing is, I was like, I'm just going to go and do like a 15 or 20 minute barf out of what I was thinking. And then we got into a conversation, and now it's been like almost 2 hours. Breaking news, mangoes. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Everyone have a great day. Mr. Landfill, thanks for moderating. You had some nice work to do today. I hope everyone has an excellent whatever you have. All right, where's the button? There's a button.